3 months. 3 terrorist attacks in Britain. How many more people need to suffer before the government acts? I am not going to tell you how upset or angry I am at the most recent terrorist attack in Britain, because you already know that I deplore the fucking reprobates who carry out such bullshit acts on my soil. What I am going to do is explain what we need to do from here on in. Theresa May quoted "enough is enough" in her more disgruntled than normal comments after the most recent terrorist attacks at London Bridge and Borough Market. If enough is now finally enough, what will you be doing to ensure that it is the final straw, Mrs May? I am dying to know what you have in store to prevent this happening for a 4th time this year. I have devised a list of things that need to happen so that we can carry on our lives as normal. But before I begin with this list, I feel I must protect myself politically and disclaim that I am not Islamophobic, nor am I bigoted, racist, or any other ist that you might wish to pin to me. This list, however, is intentionally and overtly discriminant against the Muslim community in the United Kingdom. Now, before you all jump upon your moral high horses and start wielding your Islam protecting swords, in fact, those of you who are already mentally defending Muslims from things that I haven't even said yet, you are the one that this mostly applies to. As it is a demonstrable fact these extremists are sprouting from, or even simply hiding behind, the Muslim communities in Britain, the first thing we are obliged to do is impose a travel ban, both to and from any countries both ours and the United States intelligence agencies have identified as possible hold-ups, not just for Islamic State fundamentalists, but all known Islamist terrorist organisations. Our combined intelligence agencies then need to identify known suspects, or anybody who has travelled to the locations mentioned previously, and put them on strict surveillance. As imposing and illiberal as this might sound, we are in a position where trusting nobody with even the most distant relations to Islamist terrorism is key. We should close all Islamic faith schools and reintegrate their students into the British education system. It has been highlighted several times that some of the younger children in the Muslim community are being exposed to extremist views by the very people who have been entrusted to their care. This has a second benefit other than which is intended. It allows for the students to grow up surrounded by Western ideals and values. You might ask why that is important, and one can understand the confusion. This will be explained in my next point. Remove any legislation that allows for non-British values to be forcibly accepted by British people. This is probably the most illiberal of all my points, however, it is also the most important. British people have a powerful sense of identity, and for many of us the values that are ascribed to being British run deep within our veins. Ever since the introduction of the Race Relations Act some 50 years ago, there has been a government mandate to enforce the acceptance in society of a system of beliefs that are not only incompatible with British values, but for all intents and purposes are hostile towards British and all other Western values. Integration into a new society can be a perplexing task, but not impossible. Many people move to Britain because of the wealth and prosperity it should offer, and to those people I extend my hand to you and I will welcome you to your new life with open arms, so long as you accede to assimilate into being British. By which I mean 2 things. Have a minimum grasp of English, so much so that you can get by day to day without lingual assistance, and observe British traditions, customs and values in public and in governmental affairs. Multiculturalism has failed, and no matter what the Mayor of London might tell us about a multilingual city, this is not something that British people signed up for. We are now at a crunch point where we either take back control of our country, or we hand it over to an ideology that by all measures wants to see us dead, and has already devastated some 30 to 40 countries in the world, and is now looking to move into a new neighbourhood. Now, if you've spent the entirety of this video teaming and planning how to argue back and defend Islam, I need to remind you that I'm not setting out to ostracise Islam or any Muslims. However, at this moment in time, it is only the Muslim community who is providing us with these radicalised individuals, who take it upon themselves to slaughter innocent people. The biggest lie I was told as a child regarded bullying. If you ignore them, they will eventually leave you alone. This is wrong, for it just gets worse. And it is damned near impossible to just ignore bullies. Bullying in my school life only came to an end when I fought back. And as a people, this is precisely what the British need to do. I am the excremental, and multiculturalism is definitely going to need 2 flushes.